Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, September 2nd. It's 2:00 p.m. and it is time for my Tuesday at 2 to go class. I am live and I'm just double checking to make sure, yep, I'm showing up on my computer as well. So I'm glad to be here with all of you guys. If you're joining me live, please do say hello where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, still say hello. I love to see who has a chance to stop by. I can't believe that today is September 2nd. This whole year has just gone by so fast. And what's really crazy is that I celebrated 1 year of retirement the end of August. So I have been retired now for 1 year, have loved every minute of it, and haven't had 1 ounce of time to be bored. So I must be doing something right because I'm enjoying this time and not bored with it. So not missing the corporate world at all. So, number of things to talk about today. First of all, I should introduce myself. I'm April Davis with April Davis Creations. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I live in Spring Hill, Kansas. I do these to-go classes every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. The class in itself is free. However, if you're interested in the kit for the class, you want to get it for free, then all I ask is that you place an order in my online store, and all that information you're going to find at aprildaviscreations.com. Go to the classes and then go to the to-go classes, and it will give you all that information. So you can get this kit for free. But before I get into what we're doing today, I want to do just a couple of little quick updates. So let me switch my screen over. I think I'm going to try to join you while I'm at it. Whoops, that's not working, right? Oh, there I am. Okay, so quick updates. First off, the enrollment for my, hi Diana, good to see you. Happy September. Fall is my absolute favorite season of all. So it feels like it's here. It's been cool here, and I feel like fall is coming early, even though the official date for fall isn't until like September 21st or 22nd, but it's fairly cool here, so we're enjoying that. Anyway, wanted to talk about the September Crafting Happiness Club. Registration for this club, it's a monthly club, is open until September the 20th. And this month we are featuring the Prairie Grass stamp set, and I'm partnering it with the Thoughtful Journey Designer Series paper. It makes beautiful, beautiful cards. Let me just show you really quickly some of these cards that were made with this set and the Designer Series paper. So you'll make 4 cards, 2 of each card, and you'll get a tutorial to go with it. In addition to that, you're going to receive a half a package of the Thoughtful Journey Designer Series paper. You're going to receive a full pack of the brushed brass butterflies. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I've got butterflies sprinkled throughout. And then you also are going to receive a full pack of the Greetings for All Mix and Match ephemera. I tend to use this a lot, and I keep it in a stamp case, but you'll receive a full pack of that. So you'll receive product, and you'll receive all the cardstock that you need. The only thing that you're going to need, of course, is the Prairie Grass stamp set, because I can't do any stamping for you, but you'll get everything else so that you can create these pretty cards. All right, what else? Oh, just want to touch on Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkin enrollment for September is good through September the 10th. And again, I've got lots of information about Paper Pumpkin out on my website, so you can go to aprildaviscreations.com. But I do have to give a plug for our alternatives tutorial that I've got 3 other demonstrators. We work together and we create 12 alternatives in addition to what you get in your Paper Pumpkin kit. So if you're interested in getting a kit that arrives every single month at your doorstep, and this time it's going to coordinate with the Autumn 12 Sweet collection, then you want to check this out. All right, quick quick plug just for the Last Chance products. There's a lot of products going into Last Chance as we start to get excited about our new catalog, but deep discounts as well. So check that out also. And then last but not least, I'm going to keep my my updates short. Tomorrow is the day that the mini catalog goes into effect. Now you can find the mini catalog starting tomorrow, a digital version of it on the Stampin' Up website. But those of you that have requested a catalog, Diana, I know that you had requested a catalog. It's in the mail to you. It went in the mail on Saturday. Unfortunately, because of the fact that we had a holiday yesterday, I think things are kind of slowed down just a little bit. But it's in the mail to you. But tomorrow, not only the mini catalog goes live, but all the new online products go live as well. All right. So that's it for my updates. What I want to do now is I was getting ready for today and I was looking at my trimmer because I'm going to be doing some things on my trimmer. And I looked at my trimmer and I'm like, oh my gosh, my trimmer is so dirty. I need to clean it up before I do my to-go. And I started to clean it up and then I thought, you know what? I think what I really need to do is I need to show everyone how I clean up my trimmer. And so I'm going to step up just for just a second and grab a paper towel. I had a paper towel and I used it up. So we're going to do it again. But basically what I do is I keep a bottle of rubbing alcohol. This is just a little bottle that I got on Amazon. I used my Cricut and some vinyl to write rubbing alcohol on it. And I use this. Will you be doing a class using Amber Autumn? Oh, yes, I will be. In fact, I just finished, I can't show you right now, but yes, the answer is yes, Diana, because I love that set. But back to here, I wanted to clean this up. And so basically what I do is I just drip some of this rubbing alcohol onto my my trimmer, my cutter, and it cleans it all up. It helps to remove that additional adhesive because when you're crafting all the time like I am, you get a lot of adhesive and things on your trimmer and your blocks, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But if you can see, all that mess that I had here is starting to melt away, if you will. So my trimmer is going to be nice and clean. I've got a little bit of staining on it, but other than that, my trimmer is nice and clean. So always have some rubbing alcohol on hand. Now, the Stampin' blocks, I have the same situation with. So I don't know if you can see on this block, I'm trying to get it into the light just good enough that you can see some of the glue and stuff that I have on this. If you don't have rubbing alcohol, you can also use these alcohol prep pads. So I have these, I carry these with me when I am traveling, doing my crafting, and basically it's just an alcohol pad that you can actually use to help clean up your stamp blocks as well, or your trimmer, or whatever's got adhesive on it. So basically it's a wet pad and it's got the alcohol on it, and I can just scrub it around, if you will. I've got my paper towel here, wipe this away, and now my block, I don't know if you can see it sparkle, but it's as clean, it's just like new. It's just like new. So just a quick little tip. I thought I was going to do this before I had you guys join me, and then I'm like, you know what, I should just share this with them because this is what I have to do periodically. And I apologize if my blocks are dirty sometimes when I'm working with you guys, but it's because I'm constantly working with these things. So I'm just going to take a quick second and get things cleaned up so that we'll have nice clean blocks to work with today. So what are we working with today? We are going to be working with the Extraordinary Flora Bundle. Now, what I will tell you, this bundle also, you can purchase the washi tape. The washi tape comes in a roll like this. And when it first came out, wasn't quite sure what to do with it, but I have had so much fun, and so I'm excited to share with you what I'm going to be doing with this. I can tell you right now that the washi tape is not available. I don't do this on purpose. It just so happens that it's very popular. I do know though, and I double checked, it will be back on September the 8th. However, for this to-go class, I will provide to you the washi tape that you're going to need for these projects. So if you do decide that you want to get this kit for free, in your kit, you will also receive the washi tape. And the washi tape will come to you on little strips like this. So the washi tape in itself is 2 different colors. These are all on the white with the pink, but you can see the purple here, and I'll be using this. But you'll get your washi tape on a card like this so that you can work with it. What you're going to need, of course, are the stamps that come in this bundle, and then you also have a die that comes in this bundle. Everything's together. I mean, check out this stamp. This stamp is one big stamp, and we're going to be using this for the first card. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, and then I'll show you, what we're going to do, because now you can die cut everything from this washi tape. So let me show you the cards that we're going to be working with. This is the first one that we're going to be doing today. So pretty. Can you see the embossing that we're going to be doing? Let me see, or scoring, I should say. Trying to get the right light on it so you can see it. Maybe if I come closer, there we go. You can see the scoring that we're going to do. And then we've got this card that we're doing. So we're using the pink, we're using the purple or the fresh freesia, and then I've got another one where we're using the purple. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this one, and I'll show you what we're going to do. First off, let me pull this kit out. So let me make sure I got the right kit. Nope, that's not the right kit. Let me pull this one out. I've already pulled the washi tape off, and I've put it on a piece of cardstock. It's just easier to use this way because it is a tape. It's a very sticky tape. Okay, so we've got it on a piece of white cardstock. I want it on white this time around. Hi, Jan, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, this kit's pretty simple. I've got a piece of basic white for my base, and we're gonna go from there. So let me move this off to the side, and let's get our scoring done first. So I'm gonna bring in my trimmer, and what I've done is I scored up an inch. So I'm just gonna take my score tool. We're gonna score an inch, and then I'm gonna go up 1/4 of an inch. We're gonna score again. And then we're going to go up 1 more 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to have 3 score lines. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. And now you guys can see, I'll bring it up close, get some good light on it. Maybe, trying. Keep trying. Can you see the score lines? Barely, probably. I can see them in the camera, so maybe you can see them too. Okay, so I've got my score lines. Now what I want to do is I want to do some stamp and embossing. And so I decided that because I had this long score line here, I wanted a long sentiment. And I found, and these sweetly, the sweetly scripted sentiments, these are no longer available. But it was perfect for what I wanted to do. So don't be afraid, and I'm kind of speaking to myself at this point in time, don't be afraid to go back and look at other items that you have in your library. A lot of times I'm featuring a stamp set for the to-go class, but if you've got a stamp set that will work quite well with this to-go class, use that stamp set. You don't have to have the one that I'm featuring unless you just absolutely want to. Anyway, when I was creating these cards, I really liked this long congratulations. And look how long it is. Now, if, for example, you like this idea with the swirls on the end of it, or the little, little strings on the end of it, we do have a stamp set that is current, and it's online, called Blooming Phrases. So you could do something like happy, and what you would do is just set it up so that you don't do the long end on the happy, but you have it on the birthday, and then what you can do is you can ink up your stamp and add it to the front. So there are ways for you to manipulate your stamps so that you can get this string, if you will, that I'm liking on this. So what I want to do is I'm going to actually emboss this in gold. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put some embossing buddy on my card, just so that the embossing powder doesn't stick to any of the oils or anything that I've got. And then I've got my Versamark, so we're going to go ahead and get that. And because this is such a long stamp, I'm going to turn it over and I'm just going to emboss it with my Versamark. And then we'll go ahead and get this stamped, and I'm going to line it up on top of that embossed or scored line that I have. So I'm going to try to get this lined up as best I can, and we'll go ahead and we'll stamp this down. Make sure I get a good connection to it. We'll clean this up in just a second. I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to bring out my gold embossing powder. So we've got this. And then I'm just going to take my little spoon and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the embossing powder over the top. Make sure I get good coverage. I want to stay neat if I can. I am seeing a lot of powder that is clinging. Whoops, let me get a little bit more down here. Looks like that end needs it. Even though I use my embossing buddy, I'm still seeing it. So I'm going to flick off as much as I can. And then I always keep a brush, paintbrush available, and I can go ahead and I can paint. I'm just going to brush away that additional powder. So I think I've got it nice and clean now. So let's go ahead and close this up. And I am going to bring out my embossing tool. We've got some more embossing that we're going to do on this card, but we're going to do them in stages. So let me bring this out, and I apologize if it gets loud. It'll last for just a second. I'm going to go ahead and heat my tool up just a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and get this melted. All right, come back in, and I'm going to watch for my embossing powder to turn. You want to continue to move along. Once you've melted the powder, move on to the next area, because you can actually melt your embossing powder. And if you melt your embossing powder, it just kind of melts into the paper. So I'm double checking to make sure I'm turning it so that I can make sure that I've gotten everything embossed. And I do have everything embossed. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to set this off to the side. We've got that piece done. Now what I want to do is I want to emboss this piece. And yes, I can. This is the stamp, and if you look, this stamp lines up very well with your washi tape. So I'm going to go ahead, and I got a nice clean block that we just cleaned. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. And basically what we're going to do now, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Where's my embossing buddy? I have it right here, because again, I don't really want embossing powder anywhere that I don't want it. I just want it to do the outline, and that's what this stamp is. I don't know if you can tell right now on the stamp, but it's pretty much just an outline stamp. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we get this all prepped. Put this away, and again, this is a really big stamp, so I'm just going to leave it on its back, and then I can stamp it up or ink it up this way with the Versamark ink. So I want to make sure I get a good stamp on it. And this is a photopolymer stamp, so I want a little bit of cushion underneath. So I'm just going to use my Teflon mat, or my silicone mat, I should say. And I'm sorry if I get my head in the way, but I'm going to attempt to get this lined up where I want it to be, and then we're gonna stamp. Okay, good enough. So let's go ahead and get this all stamped. And then we will bring out the gold embossing again. So here we've got this. I'm gonna have to remember to clean both of these stamps. I've got both of them sitting over here, so we'll do that in just a second after I get my embossing done. So now we've got this stamped. I'm going to move that out of the way. open this up. And I do just dump my embossing powders into little kind of like Tupperware type containers so that it's easier for me to work, and I keep most of my mess then inside the container. So I'm going to turn this. You can see the embossing powder is sticking very well to our image. And let me see if there's any place that I've missed that I want to get some more. I don't think so. It looks good. Can you guys see that? All right, let's heat it up. Let me move this out of the way. Turn this back on. And now we're going to heat this up. And can you guys see it melt and turn? So pretty. I love this. All right, I'm going to flip this around so I can finish. All right, I think I got a little bit right here I need to get. I think I've got it all. Double checking. Can you see the gold? The sparkle and the gold? How fun is that? Okay, next step, we have a die, and the die lines up for this as well. How fun is that? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the die taped down, and we are going to cut all of this out. So let me get this lined up. I've had so much fun playing with this. I've got some extra cards that aren't featured in this to-go class, but I will show you. And if I forget, you guys remind me, but I do have a couple of extra cards that I can show you because I've had so much fun playing with this. Now, I did test this, and it does fit through my mini cut and emboss. I just need to make sure that my paper's not too wide because the die fits. I'm just not sure that my paper fits. So I may have to do some quick surgery on my paper, but I think I'm good to go here. So let me get this in here, make sure it's centered the way that I want it. Okay. And then we're going to crank this through. All right. Thank you, Jan. I'm having so much fun with this. All right, so we got this. Let's go ahead and pull the sandwich away. Open the, and you can just see these start to fall out. But look how pretty they are. Oh my goodness. So now I can start, let me get these all out. I can start to build this card. All right, let's get some more. There we go. And before I forget, guys, I do need to clean my stamps. So let me do that just really, really quickly. You guys can enjoy how pretty those look and how fun that was. And I have just my little glass mat chamois that I'm going to do this really quickly, and then we'll be done with this. I don't think the Versamark would probably hurt it, but I would rather be, you know, practice what I preach as far as clean your stamps as soon as you use them. I don't like to let the ink or whatever it is that I'm using rest on it. Okay. All right, so my stamps are clean. Everything's good. Let me bring my card back in. And one of the things that we're going to do, let me move these off to the side. Aren't those pretty? Let's see, which ones do I want to use? I'm going to use this one. I'm just looking at the card that I made previously. And let me see, this one, this one. We have so many, so fun. All right, one of the things that I did, and let me find my card again, is I used a stamp, and it's this little leaf stamp. I used it from, let me see, which one did I use it from? I think I used it from Sweet Blooms, and I actually, I'll bring the Sweet Blooms out again because, oh, you haven't seen anybody do the embossing before? So fun. Anyway, I have another card that I used this and used the sweet blooms, but we're going to use these leaves. And basically what I want to do is I'm going to bring in my old olive, and I'm going to start to lay out how I want my card to go. So looking here, I've got this one that I'm going to put down, and I'm going to do this one perhaps over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stamp some leaves on the actual card. So I'm just trying to figure out where I've got some of these going so that I know where I can get my stamping in. So this is a different one that I'm using, a different leaf, but it goes along with this. So I'm going to say I want a leaf here. Okay, and then I'm going to put another one over here. Then I've got one that I'm going to put down here, about like so. And then I think, whoops, let me see, it's going to get covered up, but I'm going to, since I can see through, I'm going to try to see if I can line that up a little bit better. Oh, not so bad, right? Okay, and then I'm going to do one more, probably right about here. Okay, so it will all make sense when I start putting this all down. Let me do a really quick clean on this stamp. Okay. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue some of these down flat. So let me take this one, and I'm going to put a little bit glue on the back of this. I need to make sure that I stay in screen for you guys. But I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this, and I'm going to come down probably about right here. So I'm going to glue some of them down, and then I'm going to actually pop some of them up. So here we go. Get this one down right here. Okay, we'll take this one. And I'm not doing it exactly the way that I did it before, but it's close. But I love that card so much I wanted to make it. I wanted to make it again. And then I've just got some of my leaves popping out. Let me see, is there any more that I want to put down flat? No. All right, so let's bring out the dimensionals. And I'm going to use the mini dimensionals just because these are little flowers, and that way I can get these positioned appropriately. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to go with that. And let's see, go ahead and pop these off. There we go. Off to the side. We'll take this one, and I'm going to place it right about here, I think. So it's fun. You can see my little green peeking out. And then I've got this big one that I'm going to put some dimensionals on. So we'll get some here. Get the backs off. All right. And let's see, I think I want this one to go probably right about here, I think. And then I've got this one, and I think this one's going to go probably here, which is going to leave me a little bit of room. So, like I said, I'm not doing it exactly the way that I did it before, but it's close. But isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see. This one, I think I'm going to do this way. I want to kind of hide that stem just a little bit. Not that stem, but the stem coming up from that little rose. Okay, so let me see. I've got another, let me think. Maybe I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to put a right here. So I think I'll go ahead and I just picked that one off. I'm going to put this one up here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some embellishments. I mean, I could put more flowers in, but I don't want to go overboard. Plus, I've got some embellishments. So I'm using the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink embellishments. And let me see if I can get them out. And let's go ahead and use my take your pick. And I think I'm gonna use the lighter colored ones. So we'll put one up here. I'm gonna do a smaller one down here. And this little open space down here, I'm gonna do another little small one. Instead of putting a flower there, I'm gonna put an embellishment there. And then last but not least, I'm gonna bring in some of this gold twine. And I do not believe this gold twine is available in the catalog anymore, but I had it and it was perfect because I was embossing in gold. So when you get your kit, you will have the gold twine in there. So not to worry about that. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna use my ribbon snips over here to cut this off. And then I think I'm gonna put my ribbon, my bow right there. So let me bring in my little glue dots. And we'll put a little glue dot right here. I'm gonna make a little bit of a, kind of a, not a knot, but a little ball, if you will, right here. And then I can put the knot of the bow right there. I'm gonna move this off to the side. We're gonna go ahead and fold this up. Let me grab my bone folder so we can get this burnished. There we go. And look guys, the first card is done. Isn't that just so pretty? I just love that. And then you've got, I know it's hard to see, but you do have the scoring there, which adds some interest as well. So this is card number 1. So fun. Okay, let me move this off to the side and I'm gonna bring in card number 2. And the other thing I was gonna show you is, like, I have extras of these left over. These are the ones that are embossed, but I keep little baggies in here. And so when I have things left over, I can go ahead and just put them in my little baggie. Yes, it would be beautiful for a wedding card. But I can do my little baggie right here. And now when I get ready to go make another card, I don't even have to do any die cutting or anything. I can just pull these out and use them. And I'm keeping them separate, the pink from the white. All right, next card. Let me bring this in. How fun is this one? Let me move this stuff out of the way. Hi, happy birthday. So what I used for these, let me get I used the party alphabet dies. So fun. Now I keep my alphabet dies on magnets in a stamp set or a stamp case. They fit very well in the stamp case. Let me move this up a little bit so you guys can see. So I have them all in here and that keeps them all together. And then what I did is I just measured and lined these up. This is the big one. Here's the little one, the little eye. Lined these up. You guys can't see. So the first thing I did, the very first thing, is I took my cardstock and I die cut my high, okay? And now that I've got that done, now I can start working on the rest of the card. So let me put these up. And I will bring the kit out so you guys can see. But I have, and I'm doing it on Very Vanilla. The sample that you see that I've got a picture of is Very Vanilla, but that card has since been given away. So I'm going to make another Very Vanilla one, but I also made a white one. So here we've got Very Vanilla, my card base. Then I have my high that I went ahead and die cut. So we've got that. And then I wanted to show you, I've got a piece of fresh freesia. I'll show you what we're going to do with that in just a second. But I did the same thing that you saw me do with the other card, my previous card. I got some here in the corner. I put the washi tape down on fresh freesia and then I die cut it. So all of my little flowers are die cut. But I need another layer that's going to go behind my high. So let me bring out my washi tape. And basically the washi tape, you have to be able to cut it. So you can see where the purple ends and the pink starts. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to use my snips and I'm just gonna cut this off. So So it's like this. And then what I can do is I can take my fresh freesia, I can put it down on my fresh freesia. And I'm going to make sure that I get it burnished down so I don't have any bubbles or wrinkles or anything like that in it. But now I have my layer that I'm actually going to put behind my high, and I'll trim this up. So what I liked is I liked seeing that little flower peek through the dot on my eye. So I'm going to do a little bit of trimming on each side. I'm going to do my best to potentially save these because I can die cut them out later with the dies. So let me do that, and then let me see what I need to do down below or on the other side. Okay, so we're just going to go on the other side of this, and I may have to trim out my flower just a little bit so it's not peeking through. So we've got it, it'll go here. Okay, got it. All right, so let's go ahead, and we'll trim this up in just a second. I want to get this placed so that I've got my little flower for my dot. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of glue down between everything. Whoops, got it on my glass mat. Let me get that cleaned up real quick before I get it into anything. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this down. So fun, so fun. All right, okay. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take this and trim it off because obviously I don't want this on the bottom. So we'll get this trimmed off. And that now is the start, but I still have some stamping to do, right? So, and I probably should have done the stamping before I glued my piece behind because I do have a little bit of ledge, but it did come down to the bottom. So that's the good news. All right, so the stamp I decided to use is coming from, let me see if I can figure this out. It's coming from the Charming Day stamp set. I'm gonna use this Happy Birthday. I don't know, is anybody else freezing? I'm going to keep watching, but we'll watch the YouTube tomorrow to see what I've missed. That would be great, Diana. I'm not seeing that I'm having any problems, so, but I might. So, yes, please watch on YouTube if you need to. I was going to double check, see if, yeah, so far so good. Okay, I'm going to use fresh freesia to stamp this Happy Birthday. So let me go ahead and get this inked up. And then I'm just going to bring this down. I know I want to stay in so you guys can see, but at the same time, I don't want you guys to have to watch my head either. All right, so Happy Birthday. There we go. We've got that. So let me clean this stamp up. And we can actually start to put together this card. So fun, so easy. So let's pull down some of the flowers, and I think I'm going to use, which ones am I going to use? I'm going to use this one, and we're going to place it right about here. And then we'll do this one, and I'll put it right here. So those are going to go down flat, and then we're going to use this one, and I'm going to pop it up. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these glued down. Am I in screen for you guys? I may not be. Sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and get this down. Right about here. Okay, and then we'll get this one down. Okay. And I'm gonna put it right about here, I think. And then this last one that we're gonna put down, I'm gonna use dimensionals on because it's so fun to pop these up too. So we'll do that. Let me take the backs off of this. I want to make sure that I've got it on the card base right about there. Perfect. All right, let's move these off to the side. In fact, let's get out my little purple baggie and we will get these just out of the way quick if I can without making too much of a mess. I'm excited though, guys. I've got plenty to make some new cards with. All right, let's go ahead and fold this over. So we'll get this fold in place. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to pop up this back piece, or this layer. So let me bring out my bigger dimensionals, and I'm going to use my tweezers if I can find them, and we will go ahead and get these down. And you guys will see me do what I do frequently because I don't want to make sure, how do I want to say this? Because I want to make sure that I get this lined up appropriately, centered in the card. I need a little bit of wiggle room. So we're just going to go ahead and put some glue on the back. And this will give me a little bit of wiggle room as I get this. Whoops. Well, probably what I should do is take the backs off. Huh, so excited. I think we'll leave them on the ones that I didn't pull off. And then we'll get glue on the rest of them. We'll just be gluing down the backs. All right. Okay, bring this back in. And now I'm going to center this up. And actually, I think I did a pretty good job. I can slide it if I need to. But the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring in, these are the purple adhesive back sequins that I've got. And I thought those would go so well with the Fresh Freesia. So I'm going to use the lighter colored ones, and I don't have two different sizes. So we're just going to go with the large through and through. So we'll do this, and then we'll take one and we'll bring it down here like so. Move these off to the side, and here we go, guys. This is card number 2. How pretty is that? Oh, is that a die cut? Yeah, Diana, let me go back. I'm sorry you froze up. I used the Party Alphabet dies, and I keep my Party Alphabet dies in my stamp case on magnetic sheets. But basically what I did is I cut these out first before I did anything. And then I was able to get the backing from the washi tape behind it. But so pretty. Just love that. All right, let's look at the last card. And it's different too. Let's bring this one in. And this one's going to be easy peasy. So what I did with this one is I have a basic white card base. I've got some gold foil. I love the gold. And then I wanted to emboss my background. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I embossed the background. And what I used for that, again, I apologize, it's a retired product back from the annual catalog 2020 to 2021. But it was a script embossing folder, and I thought it would be just perfect for this. So what I did is I did a script on embossing on this. We'll put that down. And then I went ahead and I used the Stylish Shape dies, and I stamped you are so appreciated, and you are so appreciated came from the Label Me Grateful. You are so appreciated. But because I had already done some embossing, I just thought that I would go ahead and emboss this ahead of time so you guys wouldn't have to worry about it. And then I have, of course, my flowers that were laid out on the white cardstock. And then I just used those incredible dies and was able to get these die cut. Now these are also the purple. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start building this card. So I got a little bit of something there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And then we're going to take this layer and adhere it to my gold layer. Now, if you wanted to, I did not do this, but if you wanted to, if you want to save your gold foil, you could have cut a square out of the middle of it and saved that and just had enough to go around the edges. I did not do that, but I tell you that because I have done it before. I just didn't do it for this one. All right, so now we've got this adhered. So now I'm gonna go ahead and adhere it to my card base. So let's go ahead and get that done. Oops. Okay. And we'll get this down. Hi, Wanda. It's just crazy how that works, right? It's like, oh, this is so cool. Yes, I want it too. That's why I have it. I was watching somebody else and then I started playing with it and now I am just having so much fun. All right, so now we've got that built. Okay, so we've got You're So Appreciated, but I'm gonna pop this up. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pop it up now so that I can build my flowers around it. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go ahead and get this down. And these flowers are so pretty. Who'd have thunk it? When you first look at that washi tape, it's like, what am I gonna do with this? Stampin' Up! Had it all planned out with the stamps. And you know, you could just stamp and create your own colors. Maybe you don't wanna use the washi tape and you want a different color palette. You can just stamp and make your own color palette. Okay, so we've got that. So let me see, what am I gonna put out? I'm gonna put this down, and I think I'm gonna put this one down. I'm just gonna build this out the way I want it. I've got this, but this is pretty big, so I don't know that I'm gonna use that whole thing. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my snips, and I'm just gonna snip off part of this. Okay, so I've still got some hanging down, but I didn't want that whole big piece. Okay, and then I've got this piece that's gonna go here, and this piece that's gonna go here, and here we've got this. I'm just laying it out right now, guys. And let me see, what do I want now? We'll do this piece that will go here, and I've got this piece that will go here. Oh, so pretty. Okay, I think that's it for now. So let me start to adhere these down. So we've got this piece. And I want to show you guys, you might have already figured this out, but some of these flowers are going to actually go on the label, so we're not going to see the pointy ends of the label, but it does hang over as well. So the parts that hang over, you're going to need a little bit of dimensional on it, and then the rest of it you can just put a little bit of glue under it, and that will help that. So let's do this one, for example. This one is going to go right about here, okay? But you can see there's a couple of places that I'm going to need some little dimensionals for. So let me bring in my minis, and let me see, I forget now. I need one here, and I think I need one here on this one. And then the rest of this, I think I can put some glue behind and it will be fine. So let me do that. I'm not being precise, I just need it to stick, right? So let me go ahead, I'm gonna move this over just a tad. There we go, we've got that one down, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this one on top. And again, I'm gonna need mini dimensionals on this end and this end. And then we'll put some here. Pull these backings off. Hopefully I remember to do that. And then we'll put this here, like so. Okay, so we got that side done. All right, let's do this side. So we're gonna put this little piece down. Tuck that underneath, like so. And then I'm gonna pop this one up. So I think what I'm gonna do, I don't know that I'm gonna need any glue per se. I don't know at this point in time, but I'm gonna pop it up, maybe just a tiny, tiny bit. I love the idea of putting the washi tape on a card and cutting from there. Do you think the cutout pieces would work with whatever I have left from the heirloom kit? It might. You know what, Diana, the other part that I'm thinking of, because that heirloom kit is just like one of my favorite, you could have the stamp and pick those pieces from the heirloom kit that you like and color your stamp after you've stamped it. You can color it in any color that you want to color it in, and then that it would coordinate with your heirloom kit. You wouldn't have to use necessarily the washi tape, but because you've got this stamp, you can, oops, I think I don't want that there. You can coordinate the colors. But you could see, I feel like the heirloom doesn't have as many pinks and like the fresh freesia in it, but I don't know, we'd have to put them together. All right, let me pull this off. But that's a great idea. I'm a huge advocate for blending products. You know, use a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you kind of see, I was even doing that here. I'm not using all the same stamp set. I'm using different ones as far as for my sentiments and such. And then we're gonna put this one here. Okay, so this one's got a dimensional there. Maybe I'll put another one right here. And then I'm going to, I want to see if I can move this just a little bit. It's kind of hiding my appreciated. And then we'll put this here. Whoops. Getting carried away over here. All right. Whoops. Can you see I got my backing and my glue? Not good. Put that over here, out of the way. All right. Now I can go ahead and put this flower here. Just layer it up. Okay, we're not done yet. One more thing to do. This time I'm going to bring back out the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems, but they've got these gems that have like a little bit of gold fleck in them. So they're not strawberry or pink, they're just gold flecks. So we're going to use those. So I'm going to take one here and we'll do another one right about here. And then we'll take this last one. I do them in threes right here, and let me move this stuff out of the way. And we have our third card. Isn't that so pretty? I agree, Diana. I would love for them to do another card kit. They may like the heirloom kit. They may very well do that because it was really popular. Okay, so we have card number 3 that we just did. I'm going to bring back in card number 2. I did it in white, and then today we did it in the very vanilla, but still so pretty. Let me pull these down. And then I'm going to bring in the third card, or the first card that we made with the congratulations. Guys, look how pretty those are. I'm going to take myself down. I'll be back in just a second, but I want you guys to be able to see these cards and how pretty they are. Let me get my mess out of the way so you don't have to look at my mess. All right, that's a little bit better. There you go. Aren't those pretty? Now remember, I promised you that I had a couple of other cards that I had made. Thank you, Diana. So here's another one. This one was made with the dies too, and it actually says, "Hey, lovely." And remember, I showed you that the lovely came from the Sweet Blooms. So I went with the purple theme. I've got a vanilla. I don't know if you can see it well enough, but I've got a vanilla background behind the white. I made it basically the same way that I did the high. I just put "Hey, lovely" in front of it and put the washi tape behind the hey, and then sprinkled in a few of the little flowers to create this card. So we have that one, and then this one was just a fun, simple little card. I used the very vanilla on it, and I basically just layered the flowers down the front, a few sprinkles off to the side, and then I used the ephemera Best Wishes for that one. So fun. I have loved this set. Now remember, this set is a to-go set. You still need to have the Extraordinary Flora stamps and dies, but I will include the washi tape in your kit. So you'll get everything that you need to create. I'll even do the cutouts for the high for you. I can't do any stamping for you, but I can, if it's not part of the bundle, I can do some die cutting for you. So there we go with that. I'm gonna come back. I'm just gonna say hello really quickly and thank you guys for being here with me today. I had so much fun with these cards, and I hope if you don't have them, you'll consider getting them because they were a lot of fun. So until next time, bye everybody.